Welcome to another episode of Make Adventure Happen podcast. In this podcast, in every episode, we talk about one country. We answer some of the most popular questions about this country and we share our own experience in the country. That's me, Kaspars and Una. And today we will be talking about Indonesia. Like I said, we talk only about countries where we have personally been to, that countries that we have our own personal experience with. And speaking of Indonesia, which is one of the largest countries in the world, it's almost like 300 million people living there. At the moment there is something like 270 or 280 million, but you see, this country is big and we have been there.
One of the largest or the largest Muslim countries in the world.
Awesome. Yeah, and we have been there several times. We have been to Bali, like most of travelers, tourists go to. The last time we were in Bali, it was in 2020, the beginning of the pandemic, and we decided to get stuck there for half a year, for 6 months. Remember when we were looking at prices, like what it would cost for us to leave Bali in March?
Yes.
It was
on a emergency blah blah blah
Flight.
Yeah. Organized by Lithuanian government, Lithuanian and Latvian governments.
Yeah.
It was 750 approximately per one person, one way, and we thought, it's kind of expensive. Let's wait a couple of weeks, or let's wait a month. And we left 6 or 5 months later on a flight that cost 748 euros. So we saved 2 euros.
Yes. That was the last time.
More financial
advice.
More financial advice later in this video. Not.
That was the last time when we were in Indonesia, and it was in Bali. But we have been also to other parts of Indonesia. We have been to Bali several times. And other parts of Indonesia, we have been to Java, the largest island, where something like 100 million or even more people are living, to the capital, Jakarta there, to, I remember, Probolinggo, Surabaya. Surabaya is third largest city. What else? The Bromo volcano, the Ijen volcano. I have been to Ijen several times. To some waterfalls there. To Borobudur, the grand temple there.
One of the largest temples in the world, I guess.
Yeah. So we have been to Java, Bali, and then we have been a tiny bit to Lombok, an island next to Bali.
Nusa
Penida. Many consider it a part of Bali.
But it's not actually.
It's not.
It's not, but still, it's so close that you can consider it.
It also feels kind of similar.
Yeah.
We went there right at the very, very beginning when Indonesia started opening to tourism in 2020. Amazing experience with zero tourists. Like, we were on the Kelenkin beach, the most famous beach, and there were in total
the most famous beach in Indonesia, I would say.
Yeah, and there were 4 people, like 2 of us and maybe 2 or 3 more. Unbelievable experience. Yeah, so this is where we have been to in Indonesia. I think nothing else. And now I'll go to Google, like I always do, look up type in Indonesia, and I have already done it, and look up the most popular questions. And like always, we are trying to answer from the tourist perspective, from the visitor perspective, when you are not moving to a country to live there, but when you are moving to a country either for maybe 1 or 2 weeks stay, or maybe 1 or 2 months stay, but not for life. So, like
not for life. That sounds like a prison sentence to live in Bali. Life in Bali.
Not the worst, unless you go to the famous Bali prison.
Yes. Did you read that book?
Yeah.
What was the name of the book? Hotel K?
Hotel K, maybe.
That's a pretty interesting book.
A good book. Read it and never do the stuff that they've done it.
Yes, try not to do it at home.
Yeah. Let's start with the questions. What is, it's gonna be for you.
No.
What is Indonesia famous for as a country?
It is famous for Bali.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it, like, when I personally started hearing more about Bali, I believe it was like soon after the Eat, Pray, Love movie book, when everyone started like thinking, oh yeah, I want to go to Bali.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
It was, at some point people just started talking about it.
Yeah,
like
maybe, probably.
But from what I know, Bali has been a popular destination also before, just not as crazy popular.
I think the like numbers skyrocketed after the movie. You said movie, yes, or book?
I don't know what came first. I believe that
I think book
in our
came first.
But yeah, but I believe in our society popularity comes after a movie.
Yeah, probably, because who reads books apart from us and a few are.
And a couple of you.
Yeah, a few of our friends.
Anything else you think people like know Indonesia for? I think I know one fact. Anything you? Anything comes to your mind?
Bali.
I think
That's
Bali.
it.
Many
But-
even think that Bali is country.
But many people even don't know that Bali is a island in Indonesia. They say, "Oh, I went to Bali," and then you ask, "Did you see the rest of Indonesia?" They were like, "What? What Indonesia?" I went to Bali. Bali is Bali. Indonesia is not Bali, but Indonesia is Bali and Bali is Indonesia. And yeah.
Let's talk about Bali a little bit more later. I think one more thing that more people start to know about Indonesia, but this will be people who learn more about I don't know, like more serious stuff. Let's say I think, and I think know, some of them know that the capital of Indonesia is sinking. It's considered one of the biggest or the biggest city that is in real danger of sinking. It's built so close to water, water levels are rising, and
the city is sinking.
The city is sinking. Yeah.
Well, it's not really funny. That's why are we laughing? Well, I forgot about it, about this fact, but yes, it does sink, and I guess some people might know this fact.
I think, yeah, and they have already started building a new capital far away from the original place.
So what will happen to Jakarta? It will sink eventually, and everyone will have to evacuate. What?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think SpongeBob will move in, and the rest will.
Okay, we'll see.
We are not joking about you guys. It's a serious thing, and I think it's something that people know.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
That's.
I see the next question. That sucks. That really sucks. I see the next question, and I think this is what people know Indonesia about. What is the main religion of Indonesia? Islam. And I think that's what people know this country for. It's the largest Muslim majority country in the world with almost 300 million.
But Bali is not Muslim. Bali is one of the few. I'm not sure if it's the only, but Bali is a Hindu island, majority Hindu.
I see you want to talk about Bali.
Yeah.
Let's go to Bali question. Why is Bali more popular than Indonesia? I believe it's partly because of the...
Well, Bali can't be more popular than Indonesia because Bali is Indonesia. Than other islands in Indonesia because it's just popular, because of the famous movie, because it's so because it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It has very varied landscape.
Yeah.
You can easily go climbing a 3,000 meter tall volcano. That's a tall one. And on the same day you can go surfing in the sea or canyoning or river rafting or snorkeling or diving. So much to do for a tourist.
And it's very tourist friendly, and there's like a lot of hotels and restaurants, and like it's very beautiful, and a lot of like-minded tourists, and there are like Western tourist communities and whatnot. That's why it's so popular.
And I also think Bali is more popular than Indonesia in general, also because of the religion.
Yeah,
they have their own kind
unique
of specific island-specific religion. I think it's considered part of Hinduism, but it's completely different from what you see in India.
It's not like in India, no.
Yeah, and what I can say, like as a tourist, is that it's a very beautiful religion and culture that they have here. This combination of religion and culture. When we were this last time, these 6 months in Bali, even then during the pandemic, oftentimes, like even then during the pandemic, on many days you feel like there is again some holiday, some festival, something happening, going on, music, people, crowds, everything. It's just a very beautiful culture, and
beautiful and unique and colorful.
And I believe that's one of the top reasons, among with these other things that you mentioned.
And temples are unique, very unique. I haven't seen temples like that anywhere else.
Yeah, very unique culture too.
Like it's ancient. It feels
ancient.
Yeah. It feels ancient. Yes. Exactly.
Okay. The next question, and it's about Indonesia as a whole. Like we will be able to answer about Java, Bali. What is the question? Okay, is Indonesia an expensive country for a tourist?
No.
It's one of the cheapest.
Yeah, it's something like Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Vietnam.
Yeah. And when you speak about Thailand, in let's say in cheaper places in Thailand. Yeah, that's how I would say.
Malaysia, Indonesia, quite similar.
Yeah, and if you haven't been to any of these places, then I will tell you a few examples. Like $10 rooms, €10 rooms is a very real thing. $1 or $2 foods on the street or simple restaurants is a real thing. $1 bus rides and cheaper is a very real thing. Living on $20 is very possible a day. Okay, is Indonesia a good country for tourists? Indonesia as a whole. Bali we already talked about. Bali is great and it's like really geared towards tourism. I would say like it's the haven for tourists, for digital nomads, for people going on long vacations. It's haven. But Indonesia, Java?
No.
That's why people don't go.
Some places are really nice in Indonesia, but I would not say it's really good for tourism as Thailand and Vietnam. It doesn't have this infrastructure, like there's not much going on in Indonesia, and like the distances are huge, and
yes,
and it takes a lot of time to get between the the places of interest. That's what I would say, and they're quite far away, like far in between, like they're.
So what you're saying? It's a bad country for tourists.
It's spread out. It's like a spread out country. It's huge. It consists of several islands, and getting between those islands isn't really easy, and there's like not so many interesting places to visit, I would say. What is your, well, I'm not sure. I just don't feel like it's like a very good country for tourism. I went there, I liked, but would I suggest it for a person who just starts to travel? No.
Who just starts to travel, I also maybe wouldn't. But at the same time, if you are an adventurous traveler looking for like a huge country with a rather diverse culture, because we have been to Java, and Java is more like a Muslim in Sumatra. But from what I know, there are other big islands with pretty big populations, and they have different cultures. And if you are ready for more adventurous travel, if you are ready for more rougher travel, off the beaten path travel, sleeping maybe on the floor of the ferry and for days to travel between islands, not for a couple of hours, but for 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, then this might be the destination for you. But otherwise, I can see where you were getting to, that it's just like, it feels like too complicated.
Yes.
Of course, there's there are hotels and you can buy excursions and tours, but it can feel like too complicated, too overwhelming, like so many people, so many...
Yeah, it's not really easy to get from one place to another, and like as I said, the country is spread out, and like you see that this temple is in this city, that mountain is like half a day train ride away, then there's another mountain like somewhere close by, but still you have to hire a taxi to get there, and then there's like this island, and then there's that one island, and there's like 5 islands between those 2 islands, and it's not really, well, it's just a large country, that's probably the
why.
That's why.
I think
consisting of several islands.
Thousands.
Okay, even better.
I think to better understand how big is Indonesia, just open Google Maps and type in Indonesia, and you'll see that almost the whole this big body of water between Malaysia and Australia, it's almost all Indonesia. Like there is Philippines, born like higher to the north, but in the southern part it's mostly it's Indonesia. And when you look like in this perspective, it's a crazy big and hard to travel. But just to finish this this question, I think, but of course you can find bus, train, excursions, these things, hotels. It is available in most popular places where we have been to. Definitely, just go on Booking and book.
If you want to go to, if you want to travel to Asia but you haven't been there yet, and you are thinking which country should you visit first, maybe go to Thailand or Vietnam or Malaysia, because it's easier to travel between the places in those countries, and maybe leave Indonesia for some other time.
When you have more experience. Okay. Is Indonesian food spicy? Not really.
I don't remember.
Not really. Nasi goreng, mee goreng.
Balinese food is spicy, that's for sure. But Indonesian, I think there are different varieties, different types of food, because there are so many islands in Indonesia. I think it depends on the island.
But if you think about Java, if you think about nasi goreng, mee goreng, this soup, this chicken soup,
some dishes are not spicy at all.
So 50-50, like spicy foods, not spicy foods, all
depends
are
on
not
the food,
spicy.
yeah.
They all are not, like it's not like all food is spicy.
No.
Like definitely satay, not spicy.
Some foods are spicy and some are not.
Okay. Is Thai food, again a food question, is Thai food spicier than Indonesian?
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
I would think so, yes.
Yeah. Next.
Isn't Thai food some of the spiciest, like, isn't Thai food one of the spiciest, like, foods and cuisines in the world? Along with Mexican, no?
I believe
but Mexican
it could be
food is not spicy, like, not every dish in Mexico is spicy. Never mind.
You know what? I think we have. I think we would be talking different things like 7-10 years ago when we also considered all Thai food spicy. But now we just eat everything, and when they ask us spicy, we say
yes,
sure,
why not?
Sure.
Yeah, just put that chili in there. Don't
5
worry
chilies.
about us. Yeah, 5 chilies is fine. 6 is too much already. 5 is still fine.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think like from that perspective when we just started traveling. So there are spicy and not spicy foods. And Thai food is more spicy.
Yes.
Okay. Next is a Bali question that I see, and many people asking, why is Bali so cheap?
Because it's an island in Asia, and a lot of Asian countries and islands and cities are quite cheap. Because different salary level, like
I think let's not complicate this. I think the main thing, the number one thing is that it's so popular and the offer is so big. There
okay.
I think I don't know any other destination where there are just so many accommodation options. And since there are so many options, they compete between themselves in price, and as a result, you as a tourist, you can choose between not just 5 cheap hotels, you can choose between 500 cheap hotels.
What was there's a smart explanation. Demand is
is high, but demand is not as demand and offering.
No, yeah, there's some smart term for it. Demand and
I don't know the other thing, but demand is high, but it's still not as high as what's available on the market, and as a result, I believe there are some things now that because of even larger numbers of tourists have changed. Maybe they're at some level, maybe the prices have risen really, but when we were traveling to Bali, every time it felt like the accommodation there is the cheapest for the money. It felt like the most comfort you can get in the world for your money in Bali.
Best price performance, I would say.
And why is it so? Because there are just so many options, and the same goes also for massage services or excursions, private drivers. So many drivers, and as a result they are offering more or less the same price, which is low. Something like in 2020 it was around $40-50 a day for a full day.
And the food is also decently priced, even in nicer restaurants.
Yes, the same goes for food. They say that Bali has changed, that prices have gone up. From my experience,
you can always find the cheap options.
From
because
my
there are new
experience,
hotels, new restaurants that are offering cheaper prices than the ones that have been there for a while.
From my experience, when you hear these things that this place has changed, it's crazy expensive compared to what it was before. From my experience, just go and see yourself. There is a high chance that you will not agree with that.
Yes, exactly.
I have seen it in any country, every country we go, like many people say that Thailand is crazy expensive, but I have been to Thailand like 10 plus times, once a year, sometimes more, and I see that things are the same as cheap as they were like 10 years ago, some things. And the same has always been true for us in Bali, that many things that people say, oh, it's so crazy expensive, but we're like, it's super cheap. It depends from you, from what you expect, what are your expectations, and yeah, just go, and if you are interested, go see for yourself.
You can still eat in Bali for $1 just if you go to a local place, not a tourist place.
Yeah. I see the question.
And these cafes and restaurants are really good, by the way.
Yeah, the local food in amazing, cheap food. Why is nasi goreng? Speaking of food, why is nasi goreng famous in Indonesia? And I'll explain. Nasi goreng is fried rice.
Because it's cheap and really easy to prepare, and most people like rice. Well, many people like rice, vegetables, eggs and meat, so it's an easy dish to prepare. It's cheap, it's fast, and many people like it. And it's like it's good also for foreigners, because many foreigners don't like spicy food, and I guess nasi goreng is not spicy.
I think I have never had a spicy nasi goreng.
Well, I think you can ask for them to add chilies, but normally it's not spicy.
Yeah. Nasi goreng, good.
I don't like it actually, by the way, because I don't really like fried rice.
Not anymore, me, but what does... Okay, this is a language question. What does nasi mean? Nasi mean rice.
Goreng is fried, nasi is rice. Nasi putih, I think it's plain or white rice.
Yeah, plain rice, okay, the food question.
Chicken was... what was chicken?
Ikan is fish.
Ikan is fish.
Ayam
is chicken. Soto ayam is chicken soup. Babi guling. Babi was what? Pig. Okay, never mind.
Okay. Okay, the price, the expense questions. Okay, let's go with this one. Is 500 enough for Bali?
500 what?
500 American dollars.
Okay,
so
I thought
more or less
Indonesian rupees, which is like 500 is a small coin, and you can get
nothing.
What can you get for 500 rupees? Rupiah.
I don't think you can.
Maybe a candy, like one small candy.
Not sure. Even if you can get a candy. But what dollars you think? American.
You can get more candies at $500.
A lot of candies.
A ton of candies.
So $500 American.
A ton of candy.
500 euros. People go to Bali, what, I think like for maybe 10 days? Let's say they go for 10 days. Let's make it easy, 10 days.
10 days, 50.
500, 50 a day.
20 is for the hotel and the 30 is the rest.
For a lot of candies.
I think 50 a day is a good budget. Not including flights, of course, because flights will cost 500.
Yes. Or more.
$20 for a room, or $20 for a room, so 10 for a person. Food maybe also 10 or 15 per person. And
you know, that makes me think that if you want to make it super cheap, you can also do it as a couple, like for 500 for 10 days.
Because scooter rent is quite cheap, and a lot of people rent scooters. Because with the car, it's very the traffic is so crazy, and it's better to rent a scooter unless you don't know how to drive, or like taxi for a day. Well, taxi for a day is quite expensive. It will be 50.
It's cheap for the world,
Like,
but it's expensive if you have just $50.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but otherwise, like for the basics, like you go for the holiday, you just want to sleep by the beach, drink coconut.
Then it's quite a lot.
You can also do it for two people. Like it's gonna be tough for two people, but doable.
Yeah, and you can if you can ride a motorbike, then you can rent a scooter, and it will be quite good because you will get around the island very. With no problems, unless you fall down and break your legs.
The next question, and now again Bali question, and it's about the getting around thing, and I see
Scooter.
that
Or taxi.
how to get around.
Scooter or taxi?
I would say it's only two things, two options that I would like consider. Driving yourself a scooter.
Yes.
Is the fastest, most convenient, cheapest.
There's no public transport, by the way, in Bali.
So it can be something like cheapest, we say. It can be like $5 a day. It's cheap, €5 a day. The other option that I would consider is getting yourself a driver with the car. It's gonna be, I don't know what it's like 2023, 2024, but before, for many years, it was around $40-50 a day. Let's say it's a little bit more expensive now, maybe 60, 70. But you get the driver with the car for a full day, and it's, in my opinion, so much
so
more.
You can sit back and relax while he is miserable in the traffic. Feels miserable in the traffic.
Yep. But you're getting the transport and driver for the full day, and that means you can go not just to one or two places, and maybe to 6 or 7. But if the traffic permits, because traffic in Bali is unbelievable, crazy.
That's why I'm afraid to go there, because I've heard that it's even crazier now. I'm afraid. I'm afraid I will hate it. I loved it back then, but now I'm not sure about it because of the traffic.
Traffic has always been a
major problem.
Major problem, because you see the island is not big. It's I have once driven a motorbike all around it in one go. It was maybe 300 or 400 kilometers, so the island could be like 200 kilometers wide. And for such an island with something like 1 million or not, I think it was even 4 million people living there.
Quite a lot.
And then there are something like 1 or 2 million tourists can be coming a month, and it's just too many people for
hectic.
Such a place. And
you know what would be wise? Just to move half of the population somewhere else. Then it will be less crowded, because there's just a lot of people and a lot of cars, a lot of motorbikes. Even on a motorbike, you can't really get past all the traffic, because there are like millions of motorbikes standing in the traffic.
And when we say million, then we actually mean it, million motorbikes. I think there are maybe like 4 million of them on the island.
Probably each
at any given
family
time.
has 2 or 5.
Yes, and then
plus rental motorbikes and plus tourists on motorbikes. It's impossible.
I don't think if you knew of it before, but I didn't know of it before, that the traffic in Bali is one of the craziest in the world.
No, I didn't know it, but I'm not surprised. I saw it with my own eyes. I think it was, I'm not sure if it's the right way to say it, but I think I was affected in some way, like I'm traumatized by it, because it's so bad at times. I don't even want to remember it, really.
Yes, and and the bad, that means that the road is packed, that there are motorbikes and I don't know, bicycles on the sidewalk. and they are all standing, not just on the road, but also on the sidewalk and in all the smallest alleys and going in all directions.
No, impossible, crazy.
I don't even know how they can solve this thing. I think they will
They will have to solve this thing eventually. Otherwise, it will be an even bigger problem. It's already a huge problem. I can't imagine what will be in the future. I think now it's even more tourists with people from Russia and Ukraine coming because they have nowhere to go and they found some sort of home there. And I think there's even more people living in Bali like it was before. So they will have to solve it somehow.
I believe that's the main reason why we see these
memes.
Not memes, I mean, but the articles about Indonesian government thinking of solutions for this, how to move people away from Bali, how to attract more tourists to other destinations.
Make another Bali island.
Yeah.
Like Bali
rename the Lombok to Bali
version 2.
Maybe that's the solution, just to rename the island, and people are not.
They just buy a ticket, like thinking they are going to Bali, but no, they are going to Bali number 2, like a randomizer, like which Bali you will get to, the real Bali or the second Bali.
Or make the Bali number 1 super exclusive and expensive and.
But there was some talk about asking a fee for tourists to enter Bali.
But I won't be surprised if they introduce it.
Putting a fee starting this fee thing, I don't think. The fee should be really high to stop people going to Bali, because if it's only $10. It's like, okay, we'll pay those $10. It's nothing special, or even 50. But if it's like several hundreds, then maybe people will think.
Yeah, I think it must be like 200, 300, 500 to really.
At least 100.
To really have some effect.
But if it's 10 or 20, then it's okay. It's like a bargain.
Because Bali is a nice place, and I have heard so many people talking that Bali is like ruined. They said this also like 2, 3, 5,
they
7 years
10
ago.
years ago.
They were saying this, but like Una said, we really loved it, the island of Bali. And
I like the culture there. The beautiful, colorful culture, religion. It's really unique. I haven't seen such a thing anywhere else in the world. And we have been to many countries, so it's very unique. It's a shame that there's such a major problem with this overpopulation and overcrowded and traffic. That's such a shame. It's a beautiful island. I think everyone should visit it. But now I'm not sure how it is there. I hope it's still nice.
I think, like I said, if you have interest, just go.
I think we need to discuss something
else,
like Indonesia-related questions, because Indonesia is not only Bali Island. There are like you said, thousands of islands.
I'll check it, but the question I just read it, is what are the top places to visit in Indonesia?
Jakarta. Did you know that Jakarta Island is in Spanish is Jakarta? Because in Spanish J is pronounced like H, so it's Jakarta. Wait, it's not an island. Jakarta is a city. So Jakarta is one of the most popular cities to visit, just because it's like a major hub. Like most tourists come either to Bali or Jakarta, because there's a large airport. And Jakarta is one of the places on a must-visit list, even though there's nothing much to see, just to see the crazy city, and it's one of the craziest and busiest cities.
So do you recommend it? Do you recommend it? You would say definitely go to Indonesia, Jakarta?
Yeah, I would say spend a couple of days there because the city is crazy. You have to witness it. There's nothing much to see, but if you have time, if you have like extra 2 days, you can just go and see how it is to be in such a huge city.
I think I will disagree with you. I think I wouldn't recommend you to go to Jakarta.
Okay.
There are better cities.
Yeah, well, there are better cities, definitely. But
Okay.
still.
What else?
Well, maybe one day, just to see.
But what else do you recommend in Indonesia?
Borobudur for sure. That's the biggest, one of the largest Hindu temples in the world, or the largest. I don't remember, but it's a large Hindu temple in a Muslim majority island.
Borobudur.
Yeah.
One word. Borobudur.
It's very old, hundreds of years old. It's really old and it's very unique.
I haven't been. You went there.
Yes,
I think,
it was so beautiful, even though the weather was so bad, like it was raining heavily, but
Okay.
it was still impressive. It's such a big temple.
Yeah.
It's very unique.
From my side, I would recommend you to visit nature sites in Indonesia.
Yeah,
Indonesia
like
has
volcanoes. Yeah.
Indonesia has some of the like most impressive natural sites in the world, and from the places that we have been to, the number one, I would say, for me personally, was the Ijen volcano.
With the blue pool.
But yeah, Ijen.
You want to swim in that water, but it's actually toxic. You can die.
It's
probably
acidic.
Yeah, probably in a matter of seconds.
So yeah, Ijen, it's one of the most popular sites, and I can highly recommend it. It takes a couple of hours to hike up there and see it, and most people do it at night. I don't recommend for the blue lights. I think it's not that spectacular, but seeing the volcano at the sunrise, it is spectacular. And if the sky is clear, unbelievable sight, unreal. Bromo, another popular volcano.
Very beautiful. I like the desert type area around these. There are two volcanoes, like Bromo volcano. Bromo is a set of volcanoes. Well, never mind. There are several volcanoes right next to each other, and the area around those volcanoes are really like unique. It's somewhat like desert-like, but it's volcanic desert. I think it's very impressive. It's like a huge plateau, huge flat area, and it's very spectacular.
Yeah, Bromo looks like a volcano that you like. The way you imagine a volcano, that's Bromo. Go and see Bromo. And the other type of natural sites that I can recommend to go for and look for is waterfalls.
There's one next, not far from Bromo, I think.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted to mention. You see, there are waterfalls in many countries in Asia, but Indonesia is the only country where I have been like truly impressed by seeing a waterfall. And
Brazil?
In Asia. In Asia. There are many waterfalls in Asia, and Indonesia is the one that has really impressed me. And one of the most impressive that we saw was near Bromo. I won't remember the name right now. I don't think I will find it, but it's really impressive. It may have been something like 200 meters high, and it's like a canyon with water falling from all sides, and it's truly impressive. The same stands for many waterfalls in Bali actually. Bali also has some of the most impressive waterfalls in Asia that I have been to and I have seen. And we have been to 20-something countries in Asia.
I think it could be Karipura.
Karipura, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah, or maybe Tumpak, or maybe Tumpak Sevu.
Either this or that.
Tumpak Sevu or Karipura. they both look impressive on photos. Yeah, look for nature. So cities to say Jakarta.
Yeah,
and
just to see how a crazy city in Indonesia looks like.
Borobudur, the temple, then the natural sites, and the other places I think are places that we haven't been to personally.
Komodo Dragon Island.
Yeah, in Flores National Park.
Yeah, if you like reptiles, I do, and I would like to visit that place because I really do like reptiles, all sorts of reptiles.
I think it goes together with this general recommendation to think of visiting natural places. Sailing in Indonesia can also be like incredible. We haven't done it, but we have seen lots of good footage. And also from the cultural perspective, because we speak about Java mostly, where we have been to, and Bali. But Indonesia has also other islands with completely different cultures.
If you're visiting Bali, then you should visit Nusa Penida as well. It has very impressive, impressive beaches, and they're impressive because of high cliffs and like rock formations, and the water is very beautiful. Yeah, that's one of the must-visit places.
And of all these other islands that has some interesting culture and sites and everything is Sulawesi, an island I have marked down for myself, but we haven't been to
yet.
And by the way, you said about the number of islands.
Yeah, how many are them?
There are 18,110 islands in Indonesia.
How many of them are inhabited?
Some 6,000 are inhabited. So there are some 6,000 that we can probably get a ferry to. 6,000 if we go to one every day, it's like 20 years. 20 years, 300, 6,000. Yeah, so 20 years to visit the inhabited once for a day.
One for a day, right? One island per day.
One island a day, 30 years, and we will visit the inhabited ones. And then there will be 12,000 uninhabited. Wow.
Maybe in the next life, if we have one. No, I will think of something else, something better to do.
And yeah, let's go with one more question. Indonesia. What else we see here? What we haven't yet talked about? So Indonesia, cheap or expensive? That
cheap.
Was Indonesia beautiful? Yes, but since it's a big country with lots of people, there are also places that are polluted.
Jakarta.
And very not beautiful.
And sinking.
Yeah, unfortunately. Is Bangkok? No,
Bangkok is not in Indonesia.
Is Bangkok? Why Bangkok?
Bangkok is in Thailand.
Okay. I think we can finish with the question we see with all countries. Are you allowed to wear shorts in Indonesia as a woman?
In Bali, yes. In some other islands, it's better to wear pants.
Yes,
because it's a Muslim majority, and you want to dress wear less revealing clothes. But in Bali, yes, you can wear shorts.
Actually.
But in the rest of the country, you can stick to like white pants, long skirts, and a t-shirt.
I'm actually curious what it's like on the other islands, on the big islands where they have like completely different culture, like Sulawesi or
I'm not sure.
Papua or.
Maybe in Lombok you can also wear shorts.
By the beach more. Yeah. And I think it also goes for men actually, if you want to feel like really like a person who respects their local customs and culture. You also don't really want to be walking around in shorts in Java. I don't think they will tell anything to you as a tourist and as a man, but I don't think. I think it's more nice to follow the local customs, and like if the local people they are wearing pants, I think it just makes sense to you as a tourist also dress somewhat similarly.
But I think I've seen men, like local men, wear shorts in Jakarta, the big city.
It's the big city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and on that, I think we can finish. Final thoughts from you about Indonesia?
No final thoughts. I already said everything I wanted to say.
Final thoughts from me. Take into account, Indonesia is not Bali. Bali is island in Indonesia, an amazing island. I believe it's still a very cool destination to go to, but it's not whole Indonesia. Indonesia is a crazy big country, like enormous big country with almost 300 million people. And that's why when you are thinking of Indonesia, and if you are an adventurous traveler, make sure to check out also other places, because I believe, and I have also seen, we have seen from our own experience, there are some really epic, cool, interesting places to go and visit, and make sure to check them out. I believe you can find lots of adventures, off the beaten path adventures in Indonesia.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
Until next time. Bye.